Scrappy Peeps, Suzanna here today for Scrapping Boys 2.0. This is the layout that I'm sharing with you, and this is part of a series that I'm participating in that my friend Christine is hosting. So these are all videos about boys. We wanted to give you some ideas of how to scrapbook these boy pictures and create some boy layouts, and so that is what I'm doing today. So what I have there is a sheet of paper from Pretty Little Studio. It's from the Document Life collection, and I decided that I wanted to go a little bit angular with these triangles, and so I was going to use one of the inherent shapes that is built into this and create a left-hand side border. And so that will be the color palette that I am working with. So you can see there's kind of a rosy pink in there, and orange and blue. So some very boy colors, but also with a little bit of pink thrown in there, which doesn't bother me at all. So the back side of that is the stripe. While I thought that I was going to have just the triangles as that left-hand border, I felt like it needed something that was going to ground it. And so I'm going to use that stripe that provides that hard, sort of firm stop on that left side there. What I have here are two pictures of my son. When we went into quarantine, lockdown, stay at home, whatever you want to call it, he decided that he was going to go through years and years and years worth of Legos, and he was going to put all of the collections back together. So he pulled all of the Lego manuals and he literally rebuilt every Lego collection that he has. Sometimes Mia, his sister, was recruited to aid with this process, and so that kept them busy for many, many days. So because this is sort of a COVID-19 quarantine stay-at-home activity, I wanted to incorporate that into the layout. And so what you see there, I have two free printables. One is the COVID-19, the bingo cards. Those are free printables from Pretty Little Studio. And then I also had another card, which I'm sorry I didn't use, and so I didn't write down, but I think that was from Kelly Perky. So I have pulled also a bunch of goodies from the Amy Tangerine Slice of Life collection. That's actually what I originally thought I was going to use, because I wanted this sort of olivey green as well as the dark green that are in the Legos, and those were the colors that I was going to use, as well as that, pardon me, blue that was in his shirt. And I thought that this Document Life triangle piece was going to pull that all together, but they actually ended up being a very different blue. So this is my scrap papers. It is just a office folder per se. It's a plastic office folder, and I have them filed by Roy G. Biv and then just busy patterns at the back there. So this is a slice of old Lily B, retired unfortunately, but I use these a lot. And what I am going to find is that ripped edge kind of pulls the geometrics together and softens them a little bit, and I really like that navy is the weight that I needed on that left hand side to just ground things even further than I've already done with that striped strip on the left there. While I was digging through, you see that back side of the Lily Bee, it's got the light blue, the dark blue, that geometric right there, and I start putting it away, and then I pull it back and I'm like, oh, this is going to be a great way of pulling it all together as another great layer. So I knew I wanted this green underneath the photos because that pops the greens in the Legos. And so I'm going to put, I'm actually going to be a little bit of a challenged scrapper here, and I don't know why I did this. See how you don't see the green down the middle between the two pictures? I thought that just the top strip was going to be enough. So then I thought I'll paper piece it, and then I was like, no, this is silly. I have plenty of paper. I'm just going to cut the size strip that I want. So what I wanted was I wanted a strip basically as a header and a footer to the photos, but that you could also see down the middle. I didn't want it to be seen on the right and the left-hand side. So when I do paper layers around photos, you know, you like to have the different texture, depth, and variety. And I knew what I wanted. I just didn't know how to get what I wanted initially. To be completely honest with you, I have not scrapped in a while. I find most of my deadlines are usually towards the end of the month. And so a lot of things get done at the end of the month, and there's a flurry of activity that goes on, and then I lose steam after that. And I don't know, when this whole stay-at-home thing started, I actually scrapped probably every day, if not several layouts every day. I've since, like I said, lost steam. The motivation is hard to find. I hit a wall probably about 2 weeks ago, and I found my way back, but it's hard not to slide down that deep, dark tunnel that this can result in. Anyway, so I used the back side of that Lily Bee, and that ended up being another paper layer. And then I have these labels that are also from Pretty Little Studio. They are from a different collection, but I really wanted that orange. While I wanted the focus of the colors to be the green and the blue, I like to pull in an accent color, and so this orange I'm going to fight with because it is a horizontal, but the word date runs horizontally as well, but I wanted to use it as a vertical. This is a piece of the the 6x8 pattern paper pad from Amy Tangerine from the Slice of Life collection, and I want to incorporate that in as well somehow because it is a lighter color and it is a color that matches my son's shirt a little closer, and that is why I went with that pattern paper from Lily Bee that was the B side. It's actually the pattern side, and then the dots are the B side, and I liked the way that pulled everything together, and it's the same blue that's in that Quarantine there, close blue. And so I'm just playing with the layers here for this layout. So again, it's a boy layout. You can't, the colors make it a boy layout. The theme of the Lego makes it a boy layout. But I do have the pink that's in there as well, and that's okay. And boys are rough and tumble, generally speaking, but that doesn't mean that you have to have trucks and diggers and those kinds of things. You can, if you wanted to use pink in your layout, go for it. It's what works for you that makes it a boy layout, and so you can take girly themed layouts and make them work for a boy too, depending on how you arrange the papers and do things. So that is going to be the main block right there, and now I'm going to use embellishments. So my Pretty Little Studio came from a scrap room kit, and so I have a selection of embellishments. So I wanted to use those heart stickers, and then this is a phrase sticker that says, "I need more days like this." So while we don't need any more stay-at-home days, we're going to get them anyway, but we don't need them. What I meant was I need more days like this to just do things that make you happy, that even though he was using this as a time filler. So I knew I had these hearts from Amy Tangerine, and I knew I wanted to incorporate those into the page. I'm going to go with the green hearts because, again, I wanted to really stick primarily with the aqua teal and the greens and the navy blue as my primary color palettes. So I'm just going to fussy cut around these hearts, and I'm going to take 2 of them and use them on a page. Now, normally I would incorporate 3, and at some point I messed with the idea of 3, and I was going to put the 3rd one at the top left. So you'll see once I get this 2nd one cut and in why I thought I needed 3, but by putting that 3rd one up at the top left, I had this very heavy thing up, just kind of randomly floating up there, and it just didn't work with the geometrics. So I like the way that the hearts softened the geometrics, but by putting one of those hearts actually up there in that top left, it discombobulated the whole thing. It just didn't work. So there's only 2. I don't have my usual trio of things, and that's okay. There's still flow and symmetry to this. So these are the figures from the Slice of Life Amy Tangerine collection. So you can see I've used primarily two collections, Document Life by Pretty Little Studio and Slice of Life by Amy Tangerine. And I'm just going to find the things that coordinate and work with the collection without making it seem too busy. So see that heart on the top left there, and then visualize that one there. It was too heavy and it made it feel like the whole layout was going to be lopsided. So what I like to say for my trio is it's more that I'm using a trio of weight to provide balance around the layout. So you've got that navy blue strip down the left-hand side, and each of those two hearts there are the weight that center around the photo and the shadow, those dark bookcases that are behind him there. So I'm just rifling through my other embellishments to see what else I want to put on there. Yes, I have a lot that's on there already, and so I don't feel that I need a little bit more. I do want a little bit more navy blue thrown in there to just, again, add to that balance. I found that hello sticker, and that worked perfectly for this, and that is pretty much the bulk of the layout. I don't do anything off camera other than my journaling, and I feel like I've provided the symmetry that it is that I'm looking for there. So that's how I incorporate this orange journal tag into it, and I cover up the word that was on there that was then going to be running the wrong way. I think it said notes. And now I'm just going to scatter these hearts throughout the layout and work on my title. So I decided to go for Lego Cleanup as the title. I think I was going to use something else originally. Lego Sorting, I think, was what I had. So I've pulled out letters from Jilly Bean. These are go-to letters for me. You can see I use them a lot. And then I had that Sassafras Lass. Y'all remember Sassafras Lass from way, way, way back when? I was going to use those to finish it off, but they were too big. I wanted to stick to the width of that main cluster right there where the photos are. And so instead I've pulled out these letters from Evalicious that are from way, way, way back when with the Cocoa Daisy kit. But again, they're kind of staple letters that I use in my collection as well. And so I'm going to go with Lego Cleanup. So another boy layout and having to do with stay at home. I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep using all of these stay at home things. I mean, there's only, life has to move on, and it just means that it moves on while we're staying at home. Do I always have to call attention to that? I'm not sure. Kind of have to play that out and see how that figures out. So there are two prizes. One is a $50 gift certificate to Paper House Productions, and the other is a $20 gift certificate to the Scrap Room. So to enter, make sure that you leave a comment and that you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You can get 2 entries for each day by entering over on Christine's channel as well as my own, and Christine will contact the winners on May 11th. So enjoy the rest of the close-ups. I've done a lot of rattling away here. Thanks for stopping in today. Thanks for joining us. Come back again soon. Take care.